but you think that's a place to look for profits next year. Why?
No question. Look, I mean, this is a sector, I'd argue, probably the most exciting growth sector out in the market for the past 5 or 6 years. I don't see why the fundamentals are changing anytime soon. I mean, sure, we've got Hillary Clinton out there tweeting against the sector. There's some concerns about pricing. I think these are way overblown, though. I mean, they had their chance to change pricing years ago, and they never did, the Democrats, that is. So I think this is a great opportunity to get into a sector that, when we're talking about long-term fundamental growth here. Ignore the volatility.
So I think the question is, how do you get into it? Do you buy some of the individual players, or do you buy a basket, an ETF? Because Meg Terrell was telling us yesterday this could be more of a story of winners and losers next year, instead of what we've seen over the past few years of the bull market, where as a group they outperform.
No question. I mean, I would say that, yeah, if you have the expertise to dig into the single stock stories, by all means, go ahead. Me, I've got an irrational fear of needles. I never went to med school. I can't understand the data that comes out on these companies. So I like to own the sector, own IBB or an ETF, and think longer than a year. If you're investing in biotech for a year, you're right. You've got to be really, really knowledgeable on the single stories here.
And stay away from anything that hates higher interest rates. Utilities, telecom, those sectors like that.
Yeah,
right?
Not really a fan of those right now. I think that some of the volatility we saw last year regarding the first interest rate hike, I think that's not going to be as bad going forward, but you never know what happens with the Fed.
Right.
They don't always make the right call.